DJ Durong from Hot 702.5 in Las Vegas, it's time to come together. Rainbow Dreams Educational Foundation presents the 24th annual Las Vegas Juneteenth Festival, going down Saturday, June 21st from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Expo at World Market Center, and it's free to the public. Catch R&B icon Tweet live on stage, plus performances by Kiss Kiss and the Squad, Darnell Alexander, Unk and the Nephews, and Las Vegas's pop princess Ray Millie. Hosted by DJ Ambeezy with Not a Boy DJ and DJ Kelly J on the ones and twos. Stop by and visit the Hot 702.5 FM live remote tent and check in with our on-air personalities. Shop the vendor marketplace, hit up the food trucks, and enjoy surprise guests throughout the night. Presented in partnership with Google, MGM Resorts International, Live You Equals You in the city of Las Vegas. Come together this Juneteenth weekend to celebrate freedom with Tweet and Rainbow Dreams. Get your e-ticket now and be entered to win one of our fabulous prizes. Visit June19LV.com. That's June19LV.com.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot 7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. What's happening? Oh, yeah, y'all see the background. Y'all know what it is, what it do. It's hump day. So it's time to holla at the homie. And I'm the homie, baby. 360 the poet, a.k.a. the atmosphere pioneer, a.k.a. Mr. Everything You Need when you need it and when you don't. I'm back like a fresh pot of cooked crack. Bounce back, baby. Came back a whole lot better than the last time I seen y'all inside this studio. What's going on, Rashawn Taylor, cousin in the building? What's happening with you, baby? Always good to see you. Salute, dog pound. Can't wait to lay my eyeballs on you and hug you, man. But yeah, y'all, what's up? We back in the studio, back in the stew, as people call it, in the stew. I don't know why they call it the stew, because that means you in the mix. Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm just asking for a friend. Friends just be asking questions. You know how that thing go. You know, I'm going to call it the stew like everybody else do, because we in the studio. There it is. That's what's happening, the studio. And yeah, y'all see the familiar backgrounds. We here. Y'all see those shadows. You hear the sound, but you ain't do nothing. You just turn back around like a... No, I'm just messing with you. Had to throw a little too short in that little Bay Area. You know, you always got to show love to my man, Shout Dog. A couple days ago, man, we had, was it yesterday? What's the day today? 18th? Yeah, day the 18th. So a couple days ago, rest in peace to Pac. Well, some people say he ain't dead. Some people say he's still walking around here on the island somewhere, but I ain't going to mention no names, anybody like that. But you know how it is. I appreciate you for bringing your prayers, cousin. Always a pleasure. Always. You know, your prayers reach higher than a lot of people, so I'll take that. But, yeah, man, so we back in this thing. You already know what it is. It's Holla at the Homie, where the vibes are real And the conversations are a little bit different than what you normally used to. Like, we take it honest, we give you the raw and uncut. And today we got a letter from one of the homies out there talking about, man, he want to have another baby, but his lady talking about not until we get married. So we got a whole situationship going on with that, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to dive in deep to it and going to discuss the ins and outs, the what's happenings and the whys of why this should be okay, why it shouldn't be okay. Because she was like, my religious beliefs don't allow me to operate in the way what you trying to do. What's up, Lucy Lowe? See, you got off that call, babe. Good to see you in the building as always. But yeah, tell Bud I said, what's up, Bud? But yeah, we in this thing like a wedgie, baby. So you know how we do it. It's Holla at the Homie. It's Hot 7025 FM. The hottest station in the land, and with your number one man, 360 THAPOET. Make sure y'all remember how to spell it because it means something. Tenacity, heart, and attitude presents opportunities every time. So you know how we do. This is what we're going to do. So we're going to dive into it. So we're going to shout out to this brother called Stuck Between a Rock and a Wedding Band, and then we're going to dive into it and talk about it, okay? We're going to read this letter as always. I'd like to give my disclaimer, just in case you haven't heard it in a while. I have not been trained in any way, shape, form, or fashion in any type of psychology, psychiatry, counseling, and or any type of relationship, advisory boards. But what I have done is I've lived a very colorful life. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about just my wardrobe. I'm talking about the places I've been, the things I've done and seen, and the people who I've been around. And so through that, I've been fortunate enough to vicariously soak up a lot of this game out here. If it wasn't something that I did myself, I was able to soak up the game so I can squeeze it right back out to y'all whenever it is necessary. So without any further ado, let's dive into this letter. It says, Dear homie, first off, love your podcast. Y'all be saying stuff people need to hear but don't always want to admit. So I figured I was going to bring my mess somewhere. It had to be here. I'm a father to a beautiful little one, and I share this baby with a woman I genuinely love and respect. She's smart, grounded, and everything I could have asked for in a partner and a mother. Naturally, I've been thinking about expanding our little tribe. I want another kid. I want to give our child a sibling. I want to see more of my DNA out here wilding out in daycare. But here's where it gets complicated. My girl/baby's mother says she's not going for it, not unless we're married. She's gotten real serious about her religious beliefs lately, and she's standing 10 toes down on not having another baby, quote unquote, out of wedlock. Her words, not mine. She feels like she compromised once, and she's not doing it again unless we're husband and wife. Full stop, right? Here's the thing, though. I don't believe in marriage. Not really. I'm not saying love ain't real, but marriage? That's a whole different beast. Every example I've seen, from my parents to aunts and uncles, even my homies, it just looked like a trap. A beautiful lie with a joint checking account. And I'm not trying to get the government involved in my love life. You feel me? But now I'm stuck. She's not budging, and I'm not trying to push her into something she's not cool with either. At the same time, I feel like my dream of having a bigger family is slowly slipping away. I'm out here trying to build a village, and she's telling me I need a ring first. I respect it, but damn. So now I'm sitting here wondering, are there any alternatives? Can we meet in the middle somehow? Is there a way I can somehow commit without going full tux and altar? Or am I just going to have to accept the family tree might only have one branch unless I shift my whole mindset? Help a homie out. Sincerely, Stuck Between a Rock and a Wedding Band. Oh, stuck between a rock and a wedding band. Man, that's a deep one right there, dog. Because the thing about it is, I feel both sides, right? I do feel both sides. Being on the inside of a marriage, I feel both sides. How people can be like, you know what, it's a beautiful picture on the outside, but man, when you get into chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it read a little bit different. And you get to judging that book by its cover. Not saying that my marriage is a problem. I'm just saying, like, people think marriage is all about the wedding. They think the wedding, all this beauty from the wedding is the marriage, right? Wrong. Let me tell y'all a little something. The marriage happens after the wedding. The vows and the union happen after the wedding, because right there in the beginning, you in front of everybody, you smiling, you dress fresh, your hair's cut nice, eyebrows on her done perfectly, dress beaten, banging, whatever you want to call it. Families there celebrating, laughing, having a good old gay old time, right? But then nobody knows where the nose glows when the doors close, right? After that wedding is over and after the honeymoon phase is ended, now you in the marriage. That's where it gets a little bit different. So this gentleman said that he's not really feeling marriage, right? He said that the examples that he's had have been not so good, right? So we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about religious beliefs, and we're going to talk about a little bit of all these other things. Like he said, she compromised. She felt that she compromised in the beginning and gave him a baby outside of wedlock, and she already not feeling too good about that one. So if he want another one, want to expand this tribe, it's got to be some compromise that happens on both sides, right? So first off, I got to give you big shot, bro. Salute. Salute to you, my man. Salute to you, you know, because the thing about that is you showing love to your child, you showing love to your girl, and you being honest where you are emotionally, right? That's one thing people don't really get into. So I got to salute you on that. You know what I mean? That alone already puts you ahead of a lot of people doing both, that's dodging both accountability and condoms. So you ahead of these people, the people that's dodging accountability, the people that's just dodging condoms, you know, so big props to you because what you're doing is first and foremost, you're being transparent. What's up, Rhea Patang? Good to see you, homegirl. Can't wait till we get on another stage again together. First of all, you being transparent. And a lot of women ask men to be transparent, to be able to not have any drawbacks on understanding as far as like what it is that you got going on or what you thinking, right? So you're being transparent. But the second thing that you are is you're being vulnerable. Ooh, that's a big word. That's a really big word. You know what I mean? Vulnerability is something silly, man. Vulnerability is something that is amazing and remarkable. If you can allow yourself to be vulnerable, to be at the disposal of people who are around you and your feelings are really on the table like a steak dinner, that's being vulnerable, right? If you can do that, because most people wouldn't even show any vulnerability. They wouldn't show any transparency. Either that or they'll show one or the other. You are showing transparency and vulnerability, you know, so big props on that because a lot of men especially do not, you know, communicate. Now, we can talk about it to the homies. We can talk about it to the family members, but a lot of men don't communicate to their partner, to our significant others, what exactly or where exactly we are emotionally. I still have difficulty doing that too as well because, you know, you get wrapped up in the whole thing like, well, I'm a man, I can't be emotional or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's like something along those lines. You don't really have to really worry about getting the answers that you're looking for. What's up, Twin J2? You're not really getting the answers that you're looking for because you're not allowing the proper questions to be on display and on the table, right? So big props to you for going there. So now let's dive into the part that I really dissected. I broke this down. I was like, man, okay, so you, sir, you Mr. Stuck between a rock and a wedding band, you, sir, want another child. So you have to ask yourself, does she? Does she want another child? Does she want to have another baby? Does she want to have to go through that, whatever it was she went through the first time? Or does she know that by just giving you this ultimatum based off your thoughts and beliefs on marriage, 'cause I'm sure you've expressed it before. I'm sure it's not the first time this topic has come up. Does she know by putting up this roadblock that that'll deter you from wanting to go any further and having another kid? These are real questions we have to ask. You know, you trying to expand your roster, right? Get your own little starting five started up, right? You know, I get it because I love the fact that you left your current baby, what you call it, gender, you know, mysterious. You left, you left them genderless. So you can say whether you got a son already, whether you got a daughter already, because those things actually make a difference as well. Whether you want to have another kid, because sometimes guys, we are most every guy wants a son, right? You know, but the thing about it is daughters have you wrapped around their finger, that pinky finger, even faster. Daughters steal your heart as a father. Just like mothers and sons have a connection that is unheard of. So I don't know whether you have a daughter already or whether you have a son already and you're trying to get the other one. I don't know, but you just said you want to expand the roster. You want to build your tribe. So you may not just want to stop at this next one. You may want a third, a fourth, a fifth, who knows, right? But you can't get to the second one until you make her the first one with your last name. or with this band. I know you say you don't want the government involved, but we're going to get into that a little bit later, right? Like I said, you trying to expand your tribe, and I respect that vision. I really, really do. I respect it. You see family as, what's the word I'm looking for? As a legacy. Like you feel like you're building your legacy, So if that's what you're doing, if that's what your attempt is to build your legacy, what about having a better foundation while building this legacy? How do you go about getting that? How do I do that 360? How do I get a better foundation? We're going to discuss a little bit of that as well, because your girl said she hit you with the full stop. No wedding ring, no more babies. Flat up out. No. There ain't no yes. She hit you with the full stop. Now, marriage, no baby. She got her beliefs, and she's not moving on them. And truth be told, she don't have to. She does not have to move on what she's feeling. It's her body, bruh. It's her body. So if all you got to do to get her to agree to, give you a little bit more of that, what you can feel, or a little bit more of the love that you're looking for, or give you the baby that you're looking for, you got to compromise and meet her in the middle with what she wants. You want something, she wants something. In order to get what you want, you got to give her what she wants. Isn't that marriage? I mean, you already in a marital conversation as it is. You get what you want based off giving them what they want. Hopefully, you hope that's what happens. You hope that that's how things occur, right? So what is it that you're actually asking her? Are you asking her to step outside of herself? Are you asking her to be somebody different? Because if that's what you're doing, you're not talking to the person that you really care about. If you love this woman the way you say you do, you care for her, and you got this beautiful baby, and you want to continue to grow this lineage of yours and build this tribe y'all have going on, then that's where you have to ask the question. What blank can I fill in as the man, as the head of this household? Because the tension is, you love her, you respect her, you share a child, and yet y'all clearly have some sort of bond. What's going on, JMill_99? Y'all clearly have a bond, but your fear, I always like to put air quotes around words that really make a punch in all of this, right? Your fear, which I still stand for, false evidence appearing real, your fear of marriage, might make her feel as if she's untrustworthy or unworthy of being able to do it the right way. You just flat out telling her, like, look, I ain't seen no good marriages. So you just telling her, like, I know you ain't gonna be no good either. That's what you're saying to her. That's what you're saying to her with your actions or with your lack of words. You may not be physically or actually saying to it literally to her, but your emotions, your actions, and how you operate in regards to marriage are what's may be causing her to feel this way. It may be causing her to feel as if she's not trustworthy enough. Would you say he's like, you can be my baby mama, but not my wife? And that in and of itself is a big thing for people. A lot of people, like I ain't want to be a baby daddy, but I am. I'm a baby daddy. I didn't want to be one. I'm married, but me and my wife don't have any biological children together, right? So that in and of itself puts me in a different bracket because I didn't want to be a baby daddy and I wanted to be a husband. So I got to be a husband, but I was a baby daddy first. So now if you don't play your cards right, then you going to be her baby daddy. Then you're going to have to be with somebody else's they baby daddy. If you really trying to have another kid without saying like, look, I feel you, I respect you, I understand where you're coming from. Let's do the damn thing. But again, your fear of marriage, that's a big wall. That's what's a wall between y'all. That's putting up a big ass barrier. Would you say a baby can last longer than a marriage? That's forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. That's true. Babies do last longer than marriages. That's why you got divorced parents out here splitting time with their kids. Because the baby gonna be there forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. You heard Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. I ain't never mean to make your daughter cry. But at the same time, you got to understand, like, let me figure out what I need to do in this situation. This is what you need to tell yourself in the mirror. What do I need to do in this situation to where it works out for all of us? Because right now, this fear of marriage is putting up a wall in between y'all. Right? And listen, I get it. If all the marriages you've seen have either been toxic or it's been a struggle or betrayal or dysfunction or just straight up misery, who would want to sign up for that? Who would want to sign up for that? To you, marriage probably feels like putting your joy in a cage and handing somebody else the key to say when it can get out. When your joy is available, when your happiness and your freedom is available. You've given someone else the key to let them turn it. That's what maybe marriage may feel like to you in your mind. You understand me? But then you have to ask yourself the real question. Like, what's that real question? And the real question is it marriage you don't believe in? Or is it the version that you've seen that you don't believe in, that doesn't rock well with you? Is it the version of marriage that you've seen that doesn't rock and agree with you, right? So those are two different questions. Those are two completely different things. Would you say he's not he's not what he saw, but he has done self-work and also as a couple? Exactly. And that's the thing. You got to do some self-work. You're not what you saw. You're not the man in the equation. That was my point. Excellent point there, Lucilo. That's my situation. I mean, that's my point to the situation. You're not the person. You're not your family's past. You're not your friend's past. You aren't them. You're you. That's what you need to ask yourself. Like, because of the fact that you've seen only toxicity in marriage, the fact that all you've seen is dysfunction in marriage, that sounds like choices, accountability, maturity. If your only example of marriages were these things and these people's had these issues, that's about the choices of the people you decided to be around. That's about the accountability of the person that you're talking about, or maybe even the maturity, but it's not the institution of marriage's fault because your uncle out here living a single life while he married at family functions. You said that it seemed like a trap to you. It seemed like something like a sticky trap or maybe even quicksand in your opinion. But again, you are not your family's past. You are not your friend's past. That should let you know off top that these decisions aren't being made off of your own character. They being made off of the things that have built who you are in regards to this subject. But none of them, you've never been in the situation. So how do you know how you respond? You know how like they have these commercials and they tell you this side effect may occur, this side effect may occur. Now, how do you know what marriage side effects will occur if you've never taken the marriage pill? If you've never went down the road of, because anybody, I suggest y'all read this book, Before You Say I Do, by Bishop Joseph Warren Walker III, my former pastor over at Mount Zion Baptist Church down in Nashville. He wrote a book called Before You Say I Do. Not too thick, about 110 pages with some pretty bold writing. So you're not even looking at reading a long ass book, right? If you haven't gone down the road of finding out what marriage would, it's like you got to go into a dressing room. When you really want to go down the path and be like, what would I be like as a husband? Put myself in scenario, not like real life, but ask yourself questions. Go take your relationship in the dressing room and try it on as a marriage. If you've seen examples of marriage and they've been toxic, or you've seen examples of marriage and they've been dysfunctional, put you and your woman in those situations, and based off how y'all move, how would the outcome be? Find a way to AI your relationship and ChatGPT your relationship and ask yourself, how would the outcome be if I were in that situation? Land on my mouth. That ain't cool. How would that be? You don't know exactly. What's up, Sadiqa, Inch Mob in the building? How would the marriage be if you put yourself in those same scenarios. You know, it'd be like, man, Uncle Charles and Aunt Pam, Uncle Charles and Aunt Pamela, they be going through it. But put your girl in Aunt Pamela's shoes. Put yourself in Uncle Charles' shoes and say, how would my lady react if I acted like Uncle Charles? Or how would I react if my lady act like Auntie Pam? You know, ask yourself, put yourself in those situations, metaphorically, of course. Metaphorically, you know, not really try to do what Uncle Charles do. What's going on, Shaw J? Homeboy, always good to have you in the building. You know, put yourself in those situations. Put the chess pieces and have them match you. What's going on, Rip Fran? You know what I mean? So find out how you would respond in a similar situation. It's not hard. You know, it just takes some work. If you're not willing to put in that work, then that lets you further know that you're really not ready to be married. You're really not ready to be married. So just let her know, like, look, I done ran the numbers, and this don't sound like it worked for me just yet. So we going to keep going together until I can figure out a way. But then what if she just say, well, you know what? If you're not going to make me your wife, then we don't need to be together. Then you get into another trickier situation. What's up, Black Barbie? PJ in the building. You know, so what does that mean to you? You said you don't want the government in your love life, right? Okay, I get that. I respect that. Valid. Cool. Valid concern. But your girl? She not just asking for paperwork. She's asking for security. She's asking for structure. She's asking for a spiritual alignment. To her, marriage ain't just a formality. It's a covenant. So you can't just brush it off and be like, she be all right, she be all right. No, she's got this in her head like, I want, desire, and need to be married, especially if we're going to produce more offspring. You said it in your letter. You said it right here. You said, you know, I'm not trying to push her into something she's not cool with either. But I feel like at the same time, my dream of having a bigger family is slowly slipping away. Is it slipping away, or are you pushing it away? Are you allowing it? Are you even reaching out trying to grab it? Is it slipping? It's falling. It can't get up. Is that what's happening? It's slipping. It's falling. It can't get up. I don't know. Are you putting forth the effort to pull it back over the ledge, to keep it from falling off the cliff? You said you feel like it's slipping away. I believe you're allowing it or pushing it away. IMO, in my opinion, it's as if you're pushing away this commitment, this covenant, this whole little connection that y'all have. All because what you've seen other people do in regards to marriage. All because what you've seen other people, how you've seen other people move in their marriage. My cousin David told me at my wedding about seven years ago, he said, you know, he had been married before me about maybe like 8 or 9 years before me, maybe even 10, right? And he said, cuz, I know you're going to get all the advice in the world from everybody about how to move in your marriage. He said, just be married. He said, ain't nobody else going to be in them days, you know, in the foxhole with you when it's you and your wife. So just be married. Pay attention to what y'all relationship is and not everybody else's, because nobody's is the same. You know, and he was telling me that from a place of love, that he had, you know, experienced some minor difficulties trying to match other marriages prior to his, you know, match marriages that he saw work or didn't see work. So he wanted to change something about them. Like, these are the things, like, you, again, if you put yourself in the scenarios that people that you've seen before you that are toxic, or scenarios like, we're like, well, I'm never going to do that. You know, like we just said, you can't, it's not your fault. It's not the Institute of Marriage's fault that Uncle Charles is acting like he's single at every family function when everybody know Aunt Pam is in the house. But he flirting with all the niece's friends, all the cousins' friends, all the aunties, homegirls. He out here flirting. I'm a flirt. Soon as you walk up in the club, girl, I'm a flirt. You know, if I know anything about flirting, if anybody knows anything about flirting, it's me. So if Uncle Charles can't harness his flirtation out of respect for Auntie Pamela, then you got to ask yourself, would you be that same type of dude? Would you move that way? And if you wouldn't, then you can't use that as an example. What's up, Mara Nicole? Blinged out. Yup, this is one of your shirts. Show is. Blinged out gave me this one, hooked me up with this one. Yes, sir. one of the originals. But yeah, man, so that's the thing. You got to ask yourself, would you move the same way that the people in those toxic relationships moved prior to you? That's what you got to ask yourself. And then back to the part about the government, right? Again, she's not asking for the paperwork. She's not, what's that knife for? She's not asking for the paperwork. She wants the commitment, the covenant. She wants a spiritual alignment. To her, marriage ain't just a formality. It's the real deal. You can't come to a woman who's walking with God and tell her you want to build a tribe, but don't want to build the house first. How you going to build a tribe and you don't have the proper foundation to support this tribe? You and your woman ain't equally yoked in regards to how y'all want to raise these children. How y'all, and that's where problems come about. People can be like, well, I was raised a certain way. And they be like, I was raised a certain way. But how do y'all want to raise y'all children together is the question. How much of how you were raised do you want to bring into this raising of a child? And how much does she bring from how she was raised into the raising of a child? My family was whoop first, ask questions later. Whoop first, ask questions later. So now, if y'all not thinking and being on the same page in regards to how y'all want to go into this new child that y'all want to, because it sounds like she don't really want another kid. That's the question you need to be asking her. Say, babe, I know you said until we married, we can't have no other kid, but let me ask you this. Do you want another one? Would you like another one? Because some people are one and done, and they happy with that. They wanted a kid, they got a kid, and they cool with not having another one. Because sometimes complications come about, whether it takes a bunch of labor. I know somebody that was in labor for 72 hours and still got a cesarean. So women don't always want to have to go through whatever they went through in the first time to give you your first offspring. So ask her that first and foremost. Find out, get to the bottom line first. Does she want another kid? Or is she just spinning you because she know that you don't really feel marriage? So be like, unless you marry me, I ain't giving you another kid. Girl, I told him, unless he marry me, he ain't another kid. Let you know I got my tubes tied. You don't know. You could be saying anything to somebody. You know what I mean? What'd you say? Oh yeah, join the party line next time. That's the thing. So you got to ask yourself these questions. Are you okay with getting into a situation with her and finding out how y'all move together? Because, and now you asking if there's some middle ground. Because I think, like, if that's truly the case, then y'all are not aligned with each other. If you decide, like, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get married, and I don't care what you say, I just want another baby. And she like, I'm cool with having another baby, but I want to be married. I want to do it the spiritual, biblical way. I want to be right with God before I get to bringing more kids into this world. Because my thing, if I had to have a kid right about now, the way the world is, I'd be like, nope. No. What? Be double rubbered if that was the case. Like, this world is crazy. What's up, Sherry Berry? This world is crazy. So you got to ask yourself, what about bringing another kid in this world has her so apprehensive? And find out whether she even wants another kid. That's what you got to ask for real. To be 1,000% like, what's what? Ask her, like, babe, you want another baby? Before we get to talking all this, before you say I do and all this, we about to jump the broom or whatever the case may be. Before I jump your bones, I need to know what's going on. Do you want another baby? And if she say, yes, I do, I would love to have 3, 4, 5, 6 more babies. Then you got somewhere to start with. You got a starting point. Like, okay, now let me find out how to get there. Because you asked, is there any middle ground, some alternative to marriage where you still get what you want? Okay, P. If you still get what you want, I'm gonna be straight up with you, big dog. No, there is not. There is no middle ground. There is no alternative to where you get what you want and she doesn't get what she wants. She's standing fast. She's standing firm on it. You said she's standing 10 toes down, but you want to try to get another kid wilding out in the daycare somewhere. But she like, no, we can do it. If we're Mr. and Mrs. blah, 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 then they can call us and say, hey, your kid is acting a fool. So would you or your husband come down here, or you or your wife, would they come down here, or your kid is exceptionally well, and I'd like to see which parents, the husband and wife that produced this child. Now, I can see if she was in the beginning like, well, nah, I'm not fooling with no marriage. And then, out of nowhere decided to say yes, but you said that she compromised already. She had already went and met you in the middle by giving you your first baby and y'all not married. Hello, mate. Love your stream. I'd like to join the next time. Cheers. Absolutely, JFKJ. Anytime you want to join, man, let me know. We'll get you squared away, right? And so now that's the question. Like, you got to ask yourself this real question. Are you willing to give her what she wants in regard to this baby? Are you willing to give her the marriage that she wants? Are you willing to give her the ring that she wants? What'd you say? I'm going to excuse myself. I'm so done. And that's the thing. And that's what she's probably saying to you. She's probably ready to say, nah, I'm not fooling with you, dog. I'm not rocking with you. Because this is not the case. Not with her. She told you where she stands, clear as day. You said she gave you full stop. Like, we ain't getting married. We ain't getting no more babies. She gave you the terms, and those terms come with a ring and some vows. You cannot negotiate your way into another baby if you're not willing to meet her at the altar values that she's looking for. How you going to decide on somebody else's life to have another kid? And you can't Debo somebody in having a baby. For one, she the one that's got to carry that thing. She the one that got to tell you, like, yeah, it's okay, we ovulating, we doing whatever, it's baby cooking season, whatever the case may be. She's the one that has to carry it. So that leaves you with a decision, not a debate. There is no debate in this subject. Now it's time to decide. Leaves you with a decision. Do you want to grow your family with her, which might mean reevaluating what marriage really means to you, or are you more committed to your beliefs than the life you say you want to build? Are you so committed to the fact that you don't want any more, that you're not trying to get married, that you would negate all that you just said in your letter? You said you want to build your tribe. You want more kids to wild out in daycare. You want to extend your family. I told you trying to build a roster, a starting five, right? But is that more important than coming together and having an agreement between you and your partner about what it's going to take for this next baby to come through? Ask yourself these things. Are you more committed to your beliefs than this family that you say you want to build? Because compromise only works if two people are in motion. If two people are making moves, that's the only way compromise works. Because if it's only one person making movement, then it's not a compromise. It's a dictatorship. They've dictated I'm not saying like, oh, it's Stalin and Hitler and nothing like that, but they have dictated this situation. They've decided for both of y'all, if they're not making any movement, if they just standing where they are and you the one changing and compromising, then you're not compromising. You going with the pack. You riding with the decision that's already been made. Because like I said, this leaves you with the decision, not a debate. Because right now she's standing still and you dancing around something you just might be scared of. What you scared of? You scared? Don't be scared. Just like love, compromise is a two-way street. You have to have faith over fear, because I keep saying fear to me is false evidence that appears real. It's fakeness that appears to be real. So what I mean by that is the evidence that you've gotten from the previous relationships, marriages that you've seen. Again, you are on the outside looking in, and no one ever gets the real clear picture from the outside looking in. Window's not clean enough. You can't see through the walls. You don't know what the whole picture is. So you've seen people from a different perspective, but have you ever put yourself in the situation to where you and that person would move the same? I don't think so. And if you think your wife would move the way, your lady would move the way in which one of the people that was on the other side moved, then do you really trust her enough? Or are you just out here trying to make a baby factory, trying to be a baby factory and trying to put kids in the world? And, kids going to grow up and be like, well, so my mom and daddy. They never was married. They don't fool around, nothing like that. Kids are going to ask questions later. So again, you cannot come to a woman of God who's standing on her principles, talking about you want to build without putting the foundation down first. Any home without a foundation will crumble. Any structure without a strong foundation will crumble. And I'm not judging you for that fear. Let's get that understood. I told you, I don't own a gavel. I've never been to law school, so I'm not even qualified to judge people, right? I'm not judging you on your fear. But if you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. Either you're going to lose her or live with the resentment because you couldn't grow into what she needed you to be. Say it again for one time in the back, 360, a little louder. Either you going to lose her or you going to live with the resentment of not being able to grow. What's that? To grow into what she needed you to be. People, you can be what people want you to be. You can be who you want to be, but in a relationship, sometimes people need you to be a certain something. They need you. That desire, that need is for you to fill in a certain blank, as you will need them to fill in certain blanks, right? But how do you get to the point where you're fulfilling their needs? And now you feel like you can't fit the bill because you couldn't grow into what she needed you to be. And I'm not saying run the Zales tomorrow. I'm not saying that every kiss got to begin with K. I'm not saying that you got to go holler at Jared tomorrow. But what I am saying is that maybe it's time that you talk to maybe a therapist. I'm a big advocate on therapy. Oh, my goodness. Had me a good session on Monday. Good session on Monday. Oh, my goodness. Talk to a therapist or talk to someone married, folks, who are actually happy, or at least appear to be. Yeah, because, man, listen, at least appear to be. So they playing the role to everybody else out there in them streets. So ask them how they do that. Talk to them. Talk to yourself even. Those be some of my best conversations. Not besides the fact that I'm a functioning schizophrenic. I got I got about 7 personalities living inside my head. When I talk to myself, I get the most answers because I can be raw with me. I'd be like, man, what this dumb you doing? What the hell are you doing, bruh? I call myself all kind of names. Coach, Billy, Einstein, 360, William. I call them all out, right? But who is listening? Who is going to answer for you? If you don't ask yourself. Exactly. Black Barbie said she talked to herself a lot. And it's the best. It really is. And you're not crazy. You just having a meeting. You're having a staff meeting. Sometimes other people speak at the staff meeting. Yes, you are the CEO of your brain. You are the COO of your brain, but there's some other people that's up there working with you. You're conscious. You ever seen that movie Inside Out? Anybody ever seen that movie Inside Out? That is one of my favorite concepts for a movie because it's all the emotions inside this little girl's Riley's head, right? And you got her embarrassment, you got her fear, you got her courage, you have them all, and they're developing these core memories. It's a super duper ill concept. And I've adopted that into my own life because I realize I live inside out on a daily basis. So it's okay to talk to yourself and ask, is your idea of marriage based on trauma or is it based on truth? Oh, spin around for one time. Is your idea of marriage based on trauma or is it based on truth? These are things that other people have gone through, not you. I can see if you had been married before and be like, yeah, so I tried the marriage thing and I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. You ask yourself, is your foundation of marriage, is your idea of marriage based on the trauma and tragedy that you've seen with other marriages, or is it based on the truth about what marriage is? Man, and First, I'm going to tell you like this. Talk to some newlyweds. Talk to some people that have been married less than 2 years. Because they say you newlyweds for the first 2 years, right? Talk to some people that's been married less than 2 years and ask them, like, hey, so this fairy tale that we all bought into, and I was at your wedding and I caught your bouquet and I caught your garter belt or whatever. This fairy tale, is it all what it's cracked up to be? And newlyweds will tell you straight up, man, I wish I would have waited. Or you know what, man, I'm so glad we did it now because this is everything I've been dreaming about. This is everything I thought of. Everything I thought it would be and more. Some people say that, but newlyweds will give you the raw and uncut. Talk to them. If you need some, inbox me. I know a couple people that's been married less than 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, man, listen, them first 2, really them first 7. Really them first 7 to be that more. I just got over the hump. Just got over the hump, and I still be looking back over that hill like, man, I don't know. Sometimes I be wanting to go back, but I ain't, because I'm just saying like I want to go back and run away from my wife. I'm just saying like sometimes I look back like, man, let me go back to what it was year 2. That's what I mean by that. What? Let's go back to year 3 real quick. Let's revisit that for a second, because year 6 at point 2, yeah, it's year 6.2. Man, it's a little sketchy. But if I can recall year 3 was beautiful, or you know what, I'm just using these as examples, again, because in every joke is some truth. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not saying that I ever want to run away from my marriage. I'm not saying that in any facet of the word, but sometimes I like to, in my mind, revisit the happier times and hold on to those when the road is rough. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to think about when that sail was going in the direction you wanted it to go before the water got choppy. Because no marriage is perfect. None of them. Not one of them. I know people been married 50, 60 years. 50, 60 years. And they be like, man, let me tell you. Today feel like day 1, but yesterday felt like done deal. They'll tell you that. If you ask them straight up, give them that transparency that you gave me. Remember, I talked about you were transparent and vulnerable. We talked about that in the beginning. So you told her where you at with it. Like, I'm not really feeling marriage, but I want another baby. You told me about all this. Go talk to some people and be transparent with some of these married people. Be transparent with a therapist. Because those are the people that's going to give it to you raw and uncut. And they're going to give you exactly the answers that you need. You may not want the answers that they give you, but they're going to give you what you need. Think about it like this. If you've been dealing with nothing but trauma, traumatic marriages and dealing with other people's marriages, again, not your own, then you got to look at it like this. Your woman is your teammate, right? She's not the enemy. She's not your op. Because it shows that it seems like y'all got a pretty good bond. Because first thing you said about her is, you know what I mean? You said, I share with a woman that I genuinely love and respect. She's smart, grounded, and everything I could have asked for in a partner and a mother. You said all of that. So she's not your op. She's your teammate. She's the one riding with you. She the one got your 6. You got her 6. Like I tell you all the time, my brother-in-law gave me some of the best advice ever. He said, I always got your 6, but you gotta have your 12. Meaning, as long as you focused on where you going, I ain't letting nothing get behind you and take advantage of you. So if that's how you and your partner are, you and your woman are, think about that. If you can feel confident knowing that you can push forward in anything you're doing and not have to worry about anybody stabbing you in the back, that's a hell of a feeling. That's a hell of a feeling. And I know Maya Taylor got my 6. I know it. No questions asked about it. I don't doubt it. Are there times that I question whether she got my 6? No, never. I never questioned it. Are there times that she get on my nerves and I wish she would go away 6 feet, 6 miles? Yes. But I know even from 6 feet and 6 miles away that she still got my back. Unquestioned. What's up, McFadden Amber? I ain't seen you on here in a minute, homie. Good to see you, home girl. Been friends with her about 25 years. But yeah, so ask yourself these questions. Talk about this woman as if she's your teammate and not your opposition. Because just because she's not giving you what you want in this situation, in this scenario, does not make her your op. It does not make her your enemy. Now it's just about the compromise necessary for this team to be able to make it and coexist. And finish that master. Wow. Hey. Send me an invite to the graduation. I need to see you walk that stage or put it online or something. I need to see that, homegirl. Congratulations on that master. Oh, nasty with it. Miss Masters if you're nasty. That's what I'm talking about. Way to go, Amber. But talk about this woman as if she's your teammate and not your op. Look at the NBA Finals right now. Look at the NBA Finals right now. You got teams that, if OKC would be like, man, y'all ain't, if Shea Gilgeous would be like, y'all ain't playing on my squad. Y'all ain't giving me what I need. I'm giving y'all 30-some points a night and we ain't winning. We losing to Indiana. If he'd have talked to his teammates like that, but Shea Gilgeous, the nicest guy on the planet when it comes to talking about his teammates. He just had to understand where y'all fit in each other's roles on this team. How can y'all make this team a championship caliber team? How can we be successful? How can we coexist? What moves can I make that make it easier for you to make moves? That is a real question one can ask. Ask these things. And that's my take. You know what I mean? That's my take on it. Like, I'm not here to tell you, again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you options of what can be done. Okay? So y'all let me know what y'all think about it. I appreciate those that have tapped in and let me know how y'all feeling about the situation. But continue to hit the DMs, hit me on the messages later on, because I've been having fun hitting y'all back ever since I've been out on this surgery sabbatical. I wish I could show y'all my stomach, bug. I'm telling you, Moderna and Neosporin got me feeling like I'm Wolverine, dog. I promise you, man. I'll be like, where did them scars go? So I've been having fun talking with people after the show. The after the party is the after party, and after the party is the hotel lobby. What steps are necessary to build something real? To give her the foundation that she feels comfortable, that she feels safe, that she feels confident in, to continue to grow y'all squad, to grow y'all tribe. Because again, has marriage lost its meaning to a lot of people? Or is it still a necessary step to build something? That's what I want to know from y'all. So hit me in the DMs. Let me know what y'all think about that as well. As always, I appreciate everybody that tunes in and taps in with the homie. And again, I'm back in the stew, baby. Y'all see Stevie over my shoulder back there, Marvin. Yeah, y'all see him. Y'all see Whitney. Y'all see Retha. Yeah, the crew is back there. They got my back like a Tupac tat. Yeah, they do. But that's what we're talking about. So I'm back in the stew. Thank again for all the prayers, all the well wishes that everybody kicked in for me. You know what I mean? So I'm back like a pot of cooked crack, like I said. Either way, I appreciate you telling us how you feel about this situation today, my man. So stuck between a rock and a wedding band. Again, I thank you for sending us this letter. And all of y'all, if y'all got any questions, concerns, make sure you hit me in the inbox, right? Holla at the homie at gmail.com. That's HOLLA. ATTHAHOMIE at gmail.com. So again, make sure you ain't out there living out of fear, and that you living trying to figure out this foundation. Till next time, y'all, stay solid and take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'm 360 the Poet. I'm gonna holla at y'all in a minute.
DJ Durong from Hot 702.5 in Las Vegas. It's time to come together. Rainbow Dreams Educational Foundation presents the 24th annual Las Vegas Juneteenth Festival, going down Saturday, June 21st from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Expo at World Market Center, and it's free to the public. Catch R&B icon Tweed live on stage, plus performances by Kiss Kiss and the Squad, Darnell Alexander, Unk and the Nephews, and Las Vegas's pop princess Ray Millie. Hosted by DJ Ambeezy with Not a Boy DJ and DJ Kelly J on the ones ones and twos. Stop by and visit the Hot 702.5 FM live remote tent and check in with our on-air personalities. Shop the vendor marketplace, hit up the food trucks, and enjoy surprise guests throughout the night. Presented in partnership with Google, MGM Resorts International, Live You Equals You in the city of Las Vegas. Come together this Juneteenth weekend to celebrate freedom with Tweet and Rainbow Dreams. Get your e-ticket now and be entered to win one of our fabulous prizes. Visit June19LV.com. That's June19LV.com.